Okay, I'm going to hand over to my good friend here who's going to be leading the workshop today. And I'll be here, to answer any questions and go through everything as well. Okay, so.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Zhou Qingzhang, and you can call me Lawrence. I'm the GTA in the ADD, and today I'm showing how to use D5 in the introduction. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anyone used D5 before? No? Okay, so I could just show you how to download D5 on the internet. Just search D5 render. You can see on the website here. And you can download free D5 just from the website, the official website. And everyone have the educational account. You can use all the assets free. And since we every single computer in this room have D5, so I want everyone just open the D5 in this way. Everyone has opened it. Have already opened D5?
So I'm controlling rules. Yeah. Yes, we don't know.
And this is the D5 launcher, and you can show the interface. On the left, there are home and workflow. Workflow is kind of important because if you use Rhino, the Rhino and D5 can work at the same time. So here, sync will be Rhino live sync. Here you can install the software here. Is it all right? And and I want to show one website officially in the D5 is for it's D5 Sync Express here in the D5 render form. Yeah, this will show a lot of things that other people already built. You can use to learn to study how to like make the things. And for this the tutorial today, I'm going to use the official one, the tutorial to show you how to make a thing. You can.
Is that we'll be able to find them? Scene Express.
Yeah, Sync Express. And I think the name
One of the time that we'll use from Scene Express.
yes, Rhino workflow. Here is the Sync Express for Rhino workflow. And we can download all the files we need through the link. Is everybody able to download it? We can all download together and step by step.
So just show them this where to find Scene Express again.
Just search for Sync Express and
Yeah, so we'll Scene Express, yeah, so we can search Rhino workflow.
yeah, search Rhino workflow.
And so that's not one. Actually, sorry, this is the next one. Sorry. And then just click on download link.
Yeah.
Just go back. Yeah, and then just download the file. Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, Jen.
When trying to download that file,
Yeah.
then file that we use. It'll take a minute for it to download.
Where's the file download on your computer? It's on the.
Sorry, it's in here. If I show you, just go here. You opening the Rhino first?
I haven't. And yeah, I will show them.
Yeah. I'll open it right now. Perfect. There's that Rhino Model.
So everybody download files.
Once you've downloaded it, you need to unzip the file. It might just take a second. Oh, make sure you unzip the file. If you don't unzip the file, then you won't be able to access the files inside. And we need to unzip them. So it's this Rhino tutorial demo scene. Just here.
This one.
Yeah. That's the unzipped version. Yeah. It's just automatic, isn't it? Did you mind? You downloaded it? Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah. Right. Try different browser. Browser same thing like that. Try Chrome. What do you want? Yeah, download the Chrome. Just copy that link there, and then read the language. That's a Chrome. Yeah, we're having the same problem here. This is the this is the file, but this is the one that's already downloaded. It's fine.
Because I want to show the original files.
Yeah, perfect.
So now everyone just open the Rhino tutorial scene and the Rhino models here. There'll be two files. I just open one. I just open two files.
Yes, that's correct. Well, we can use the right? So we're just showing the lines of the board. Well,
Cook. So I cannot open the files. Why?
Yes. It's open.
I don't think it's opening.
Did it extract? Just double click on it.
Yeah, let me just check. I thought I already extract.
Yeah, it's already a short time. Should be.
Oh, it's opening. It's just
Yeah,
takes
just
some
takes a
time.
second. Let's just make sure that this production process is with it. Okay. 34. So, just give it a second. Do you need to charge your computer? Yeah, put it on charge. That helps. Speed things on it. That was 20 open.
Sorry, the computer is kind of frozen.
Should speed it.
So when I download the file, I got two files. One is for the building and one is for the context. Is everybody the same? In this way, okay. And
One is in Chinese,
uh,
the content in Chinese.
yeah, it's typologic in Chinese.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the E1 in the building.
Yeah, B1
So if you want to rename the file that's written in Chinese to context or
yeah.
typography.
And if your D5 is like perfectly download and install, you got a icon here. It's connected to the D5 render. You can open the D5 through the Rhino. I can show you in this way.
Right now, we haven't deployed the new version of the computer. But they need to deploy the new computer, so you might have the bridge installed here right now. It will be installed. We've asked IT to install them. But even if the bridge isn't there, we can just still save the file and write on bring it into E5 or from Sketch or whatever software we're using. So we don't need to use the bridge necessarily, but this is just a way that we can use it. Boris is going to show us how to do this.
Yeah. So you see, when I open the D5, I got my model here. Yeah. And there are a couple icon here. This one I can start the live sync, and I can also stop and show you in this way. It should be this way.
Open the building, the context room.
Yeah.
And then you can do your lessons.
Yeah, I also can stop live sync. This icon is for live sync and stop. And this icon is for like renew the update the model you have already done. I can show you, like I just copy the buildings here, everything, and paste in this file. Sorry.
It won't sing.
Yeah, it won't sing.
The live sync is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, installed on these right now. I make sure that it will be installed on here. So we have to bring that into the 5, which I'm going to do in a minute.
Yeah.
But just showing you how the live sync works.
Yeah. Yeah, just show everyone how the live sync work. Some live sync skills.
That's the sound.
Just close. Yeah, I'm sure. It's just an offer. Yeah, the photo crop never lives in Let's see for let's get the rules. They said please not by anything.
The license to the colloquium is because the bridges are installed with the right company. I've asked IT to make sure that they're all installed and noted.
I think
Used to happen. Get you second.
sorry, wait a minute.
Which is clear.
I have to reopen the file. Yeah, I just copy and combine two files into one files. In the website called Sing Express, you can download D5 files and also some Rhino files. They have all the files in that thing. Yes, as I reopen the D5 render, it will show the model in the Rhino. And this icon, it will update all the models. And this icon can sync the view to the D5 render. I can show you like if you already have some views in Rhino, like this view, and then you click the button here, sync the Rhino view to D5, and you go into D5. So and you can also gather the view in D5.
For this third part, if your live sync isn't working on here, just watch there. And then Lawrence will show you how to export the file and bring it straight into the file.
Yeah, I just
Just to show you how the live sync works.
just how the live sync works.
Download it, but this is how the live sync will work.
Yeah, and all the material in Rhino will update into D5 with the live sync. And now I'm showing you how to input the files into D5 if you don't have the live sync file. Yeah, I will just open a new file in D5. Your project.
So save the file with both the building, to create a new file with the building and the concept. And then we're going, you know, okay, you don't have to go yet, you just gonna hit cancel. And then you can load up the file that you save with the building and concept. Yeah.
There is
So, we'll show you how to do it now. If we go to D5. Yeah, make sure you save that file. Then go to D5 and you can do it.
Yeah, go to import.
So go
Here.
to the import in the left corner. So it's next to the three hamburger icons. So
Yeah,
the right corner, to the right to the top. We go in, and then that's not. Make sure you open the file.
after you input the file, you can find here and click the button, and you can just place wherever you want. And for here, you got a location, the data, you can just manually input like 000. And you got the thing here. And to move the camera, you have to use WSAD to move the camera like you playing video games.
Yeah. A lot to be selected.
Yeah. Once you input the file, you can start playing with it. Use WSAD to move yourself, move the camera, and also
Safety isn't working on these, so you might have to show them how, yeah, just show you how we can.
yeah, get the navigation here. I prefer use the free because the walk it will like make you into a pedestrian. You cannot go up to the sky stuff, and you can change the speed here to move your camera more quick. And this will be the height of your eyes. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you that.
Even the fast bit is limited. We use that.
And the first thing I want to do next is to change the environment here for the skylights. Yeah. Because in the tutorial we want to make a raining scene, so let's just input some HDR here, and you can find the HDR we download from the website. It's in the D5 scene files, asset, X, and this picture here. So everybody can find
Yeah, so it's custom HDRI, so you can download your own HDRIs.
Yeah, in this case we are going to use the HDRI in the official order.
If you go to the tutorial file, go to the new file drive and see, just show them where it is again.
Yeah, okay. In device things file, and this asset, and this X, and some there, and this JPG file. So is everybody following? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We don't find this stuff. You can download your own HDRI file if you want to use those. Feedback has a lot of HDRIs as well, but we should use more of the same file asset.
Yeah, and now I'm going to show how to add the material here. The first thing I want to add is the glass here. So press I to select the glass. And we can just use some asset from the library here. We have glass. We just use normal glass, it's fine. Yeah, click the glass and click the glass asset and click the glass in the model. Is everybody able to do it? Okay. Click the glass and then click the model.
So like just expand that box out then to the left.
Yeah, here, glass.
Yeah.
And normal glass.
The assets, you have all of the different assets that you only need to file.
Yeah.
So along the top, they should explain what these are, and then what's inside the asset.
Yeah, in the asset interface, it will got model, all kinds of model, like you want to reach your things. We got models, materials, and this like some smoke and scatter for the grass. HDRI you can download on the asset as well, and some mountains material. And now we are using the glass here, just the normal glass. Is everybody okay? Okay. Once we have already done, then we can add the glass as well. Press I and select the glass. And we can change the color here if you want. Yeah, change the color here. And also specular. It means like the reflection of the glass. I would prefer a little bit more. Also the thickness, it will be more realistic. And the roughness.
Or you look realistic.
Yes.
I think, oh, how about you open to one? Yeah, so just show them again after later slide, that show them to everybody.
Okay. Yeah. The first thing we have to select the glass. So press I and then select the glass. Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
And
Then
then
the features of the glass appear on the right hand side.
yeah.
This is where you can start streaming the glass.
Yeah. And press O. It's copy. You can copy the material to the glass in the ground floor as well.
Really deep on how to like buy and through like one by one, you know, the guns apply to layering.
Yeah. If you have different materials in Rhino, it will recognize different materials, and if you just apply one material to the one in the Rhino.
So like if I choose out like green, just apply to like your own wider.
Yeah, and it'll be great.
You should do that. Good question.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing I think we can change the frame here, the glass frame here. Select metal. Let me see metal here, like this, aluminum. It's the same as the glass. You can apply to the frame and add the feature on the right hand side. Like I want it a little darker. Yeah, is everybody okay to change the frame of the glass?
without apply anyone to view what you know. Yeah, it was you and and or like having the people that were and so on.
Okay, the next thing we need to like add some material for the ground. You can find some as here. It's outdoor ground. It will be a floor tiles. For example, we can use this one. Exterior paving 86. And then apply to the ground here. You can see it's not, the scale is not right. And press I and select the ground. What's a minute? It will be scale, the UV here. You can change the number, like one maybe. I change into 0.2. I think it's good. Maybe 0.5. No. Stupid. So well, 0.15 I think is good. And then change the base color map here. Yeah, if you're like the ground is everybody can find characters on the line. Because we are making a raining scene, so I will prefer the speculate to be a little more and the roughness to be less. So some this. And also I want to save a view here to make me better adjust the material. Yeah, you can save views on the top left here. If you change any environment or the lights, you should update the scene to make sure it be the newest one. Okay, let's make the road. We got asphalt here. And change the 01. Right. Apply to the road.
You just start building a seating now.
Yes.
Different material.
I use the manipulate here. Will be more realistic.
So if you look at the menu on the right-hand side, and if you select a material, some of them will have an option to triplanar.
Yeah.
And what that essentially does is it scales. If it's something where it can be repeatable, it will scale it down to the best size for that object, so it's more realistic.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep playing around with the scale, and so it will try to sort of create this to the most realistic scale. The only issue is with triplanar is if you do triplanar on something like a tiling system, what it will do, have you got that? Can you click on it?
Like this, the choice.
On the tiles.
Yeah.
On the tiles here.
Tiles here.
Yeah, so select the tiles. So in some instances, it won't have triplanar because what it to do is it wants to retain its UVs. Why do you think this would want to retain its UVs? And when I say UV, this is U, this is V. Why would something like a material like this want to retain its UVs? So it's flat. Any other reason? So what's the difference between this material and this material?
It has a single element.
The pattern, exactly. So with this, it's not so important that we retain the pattern because it's quite a generic thing. So like tarmac or something like that. Whereas this, we want to retain the pattern. So triplanar wouldn't work on this one because if it starts to patch the different elements to make it look more realistic, it'll actually look unrealistic. Whereas a material like this, triplanar works quite nicely. The scales all built in the model, and it starts to scatter the UVs so it doesn't look tiled, which can happen with certain elements sometimes. It looks like it's just tiled, and you don't want that to happen with tarmac. You don't want it to look like just like a single tile that's been repeated. You want it to kind of just feel like more natural.
Yeah.
Will that make sense?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Joe. And now I want to add another ground in the front. So
This is where you have artistic license. So you feel free to just choose the different type of flooring that you want for the different areas outside. If you want to put grass on there, you can just put some placeholder grass on there. And Lawrence is going to show you how you can make grass look more realistic.
Yeah.
As well. So you put some placeholder grass there for now, and then Lawrence will show us how we can make the grass more realistic looking.
First. Okay. Also, I choose some concrete here, the rough concrete. For this. And now I'm going to show how to land some grass here. I would prefer use the basic material, have the basic grass material, and apply to the grass here. Wait a minute. Okay.
Basic grass material look more realistic.
Yeah.
You can play around with it.
You can see it goes like the height of the grass. Yeah, when you zoom in, you can see the grass here. You can change the height, the density, and also trim to the one you want. Yeah, this was just a simple thing making, and the next thing I'm showing you how to put the lights here. If you have already built some lights in the model, like here, we got lights here. It's in yellow. Is anybody?
Train train. I when it right. Usually 13 yeah, so it's three goals with one. Yeah, so it's implied as if you say over back and you get around and like the time that's all yeah, and then we also get a higher density train. So
Yeah.
might want to change that in my now, so you might want to apply it to all and then you can turn it on. Show you that everything.
Okay, the next step, we go into the building and I can show you how to make some lights here. Yeah. Everybody's catching.
You go back. Yeah, you've got questions as well, you go through, so I can take that.
Yeah.
We use all
And-
the path.
Yeah, and press I to select the lights, like the yellow one. Okay. Massive. Turn on the emissive. Emissive. Yeah, emissive. Here. And choose the temperature here. Change the intensity. It will be.
Catch how to choose the light again. Press I.
Yeah, press I
And then just select the material that's the light. Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll make it emissive and start to play around with the temperature.
yes.
That's a great question. So the question was, is this a light from Rhino or is it just a piece of material from Rhino that's created as a geometry V5?
In the case, it's just geometry. It's not lies in the Rhino. But if you have lies in Rhino, you can sync in the D5. You don't need to make this in this process. Yeah.
So if you could bring Rhino lights, we could bring Rhino lights and we can then create them as lights in the V5.
Yeah.
And
It's not represented.
no, so this right now is just an emissive material. So this is a piece of geometry and we've applied an emissive material on it.
Yeah.
So if you just open up Rhino a second, Morris.
Yeah.
So in the top left corner, if you see in the top left, you see where it says the different sync.
This one, yes.
The sync the light types. Granted, so if we set up lights in Rhino, we can sync our lights in here to sync in. Or if we export the file, you can choose the light sources and you can change the lights.
Yeah.
Because geometry is different than lighting. And I think it's a good differentiator. It's good to understand the difference between those two things. That like when I select geometry and create an emissive material, that's different than if I choose a light and putting a light inside. Up here is where we can put our spotlights. And so right now we've created an emissive material. Whereas up here, if we want to create everything as lights, if you just select the lights up there, Morris, you see these lights here.
Lights.
You just click there. These are the different types of lights that you can put. Sometimes though, using an emissive material, in this instance, has allowed us to create an even spread of light. And sometimes just playing with that is sufficient and actually putting lots of lights in, which can take a little bit longer to, calculate, render, figure out where to go. But yeah, they both work.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is how the difference between those two things.
So now I'm going to add some material to the ground and the color.
Another note on that, by the way, as well, is when we're trying to match real world information, especially for interiors, it's really important that we get the lighting correct. Good lighting can either kill or make great render, and lighting can really make a difference. And a lot of companies, like lighting companies, give you the lighting specs of their product. So we know what the lumen is, how bright it is, and so on. And if we match the company's specs of the lighting, and we put a light source in, and then we match the lumens, the luminosity, and how it glows and the temperature, then we can create more realistic lighting. Hopefully that makes sense. Whereas in emissive lighting, we can't do that, as we can't have as much control over that. So if we're just doing a really fast render, we can just use emission material fine. If you want to be like hyper realistic and you want to get really accurate lighting information, then we can start to cross-reference that and bring accurate lighting information in. Okay?
Yeah. And if you want to change the bloom, and you can also change the bloom in the effect for the emissive material. Like here. Are you okay? Yes. And then I'm just going to change the material of the column.
We go for a nice yellow blue. Yellow silver. Yeah.
Just change the floor here. Wood floor. And then I change the floor here. What? So, is everybody okay to change the material for the floor and the column?
put two squares in as well, probably is you can just maximize your assets on the left hand side. You can make that full screen, you know, and all the time your assets will be and you know, select this. So in present yeah, you can select it. Yeah, still the time, so you should select it and try and change that for you. Don't have any glass just trimming material things in that.
Okay, now let's go to like plant some trees around building. Plant some trees. We can use the populate here and the brush here, and choose the model and the trees you want. Yeah, I would just broad leaf and select a tree. For example, this tree. Okay. Joe, can you log in to your
Yes. Do you need Pro? Do you need Pro? I don't think I've got Pro on this one. No. So we might have to just use the free ones
Yeah.
for now.
Use the free one.
Yeah, it should be enough there. Yeah. Start. You can just start uploading the scene now with the trees. Start with the vegetation first, or you can even just start working on our outside of the main or inside our.
Yeah, and pay attention. There will be a radius here, and the density and the size for the trees. For example, I plant some tree here. Just click. And if you don't want the tree, you can click the eraser here and click like here. I don't want this tree. It will be removed.
Then as you create a shooting account, then you go through the right you know, check the power. Trees and low range of yeah. So they might have been trying to turn this. Or further changes. Yeah, it's that's it. I mean, yeah, it shows it shows how to scatter. Yeah, it shows.
So everybody's okay for the tree? Okay. And for scatter, I can show you here, scatter, and choose some like
Choose free first.
okay. very first. Yeah, maybe this one. Just for example, like this. Just select the surface here. You see, they'll be scattered, and you can change the density here. And if you want more, you can click again. There'll be more.
One of the amazing tools that we have here is you can select like the lots of different materials or get lots of different assets, and it will scatter all of them throughout that. And one of the amazing things in D5 version 3, it also will use AI to, if you select a location, it will select the type of plants that are in that location. It will also choose those assets and then scatter those. So for example, would it make sense if we're in Manchester to cook things that we find in Dubai or and vice versa? So it chooses the correct type of vegetation for the location, which can also be a really powerful asset as well we can use.
Yeah, and brush and the scatter here, you can only like delete it or use the eraser to remove the one you don't want. And remember to choose the corpus size made a scatter. And the other tools will be pass for trees and character and vehicle. For example, trees. Okay, use some trees here. Trees. For example, these three trees, Shikam trees. I select the start point, the end point, and then down. I can change the density here. Yeah, it's too short. Let's try out the trees. And also the same for the characters and vehicle. And like the people, just select the people you like.
Either way, we got all
and create the path.
If we can try and apply it in this.
Shows the density and rows. Maybe create a lot of people. And also the same for the vehicle.
So again, just have a bit of freedom to just populate the scene. So we're just starting around the scene. We can put some cars in there.
Yeah.
We can operate people in a similar way. It works in a very similar way to like Twinmotion and Inkscape. I find that Twinmotion is a lot easier to use, and V5 would be more like Twinmotion than like moving in Inkscape, for example. But when you put vehicles on, you can also play around with the type of vehicles you put in there. And you can also play with like whether lights are on the vehicles,
Yes.
the road width, and so on.
What?
Changing everything. And then select there, and then you start playing on this, and it'll go down. It's not like it's that. Usually like four or five and two, the road you would see like, as you go. So, doing what to. Fake. Too real looks too fake, because if it's too real, it's did you lose your own geometry here?
Yeah, I think it lose. Yeah. Change the speed here. We're not moving.
Is it the vehicles?
Yeah, for the vehicles and also for the people. Everything. So the next step I will try to show is, for example, my computer is kind of frozen now. You can change to smooth, and it will be more smooth, moving more smooth, for you to easier to place the environment. Okay. Also the same for the mode. Like this, that. And the next step, we are going to build some buildings around our shopping mall. Buildings here, outdoor buildings here. For example, like this one, commercial. For example, this commercial building here. So try this apartment. Yeah, and press shift to copy your item.
Let me just put myself. So the key with any rendering is it's giving the perception of reality, and it's not always the case that you need to be absolutely accurate to the absolute right so that everything's absolutely perfect. It's just about giving the impression that things are there. They're addressing the scene basically. It's like what they do in the film industry and game industry. A lot of assets are just there in the background. So it's about figuring out what's the foreground, the midground, and the background. And the buildings are just going to form part of the background. They're not the main focus, they're just forming part of the scene. So the background, and then we've been working already on the foreground, and we've been working on the midground as well. And these buildings that we put on are just going to start dressing our scene and giving it an element of realism.
Yeah. And you also can find the backdrop plane here to create, but I feel it's kind of fake, so I didn't use this. But I can show you.
I think it's best to build it the real working buildings.
Yeah. Sorry.
And again, remember, when you build a scene, you've got to think about the foreground, the midground, and the background. And so think about it sort of in those three different layers.
Yeah. You can see the backdrop here. It's like this. And you can rotate it to the one you like.
For Rhino Day Sun.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah. I will not use this. Is everybody okay?
Yeah. Okay. That's that scene. I'll put the large buildings further back, have the smaller buildings closer to the front. Because you've got the large buildings close to the front, you're going to hide the small buildings. But if you build up some hierarchies in our image, you put the large buildings toward the back, if you get size buildings in the middle, and small buildings toward the front, that's the building up hierarchy.
Yeah.
And also just keep going back to your scene view, just to see what you see from your scene.
Yeah. And just
Because
connect.
that's the most important camera, right?
Yeah.
Is the one that we're looking at, that we're going to render from. So if you can't see it there, then it's no use for it.
Yeah, and then we can change a little bit of what the weather. Like here, we can add some fog, and also we can rotate the HDR here. See, it's too bright, I think.
By the way, one of the scene, we show them how to update their scene if they want to change
Yeah.
the angle of the scene.
Yeah. For example, I want to change the angle, like in this way. So just update the scene here. Yeah. And click it will be the new scene I just built.
See,
Yeah, you can add new scene here.
so wherever your camera is, if you click on add scene,
Yeah.
it'll add the scene for wherever your camera is. And to update the scene, all you're doing is you should say, with the current camera view, I should update this scene.
And the thing is not only for the camera view, it's also about the weather, the lights, all the things you have changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the environment.
And then that way you can get a day scene and a night scene.
Yeah. So now I just change the HDR. It looks too bright here.
When you're setting up your scene as well, you want to be taking it from an architectural photography perspective. So if you think about somebody stood there, they're not going to be 3 meters high off the ground. So we need to make sure that where we position our camera will be a realistic place where a person was stood. Or if, for example, we're taking a drone shot, then it's realistic that it's from a drone view. Or if it's from where a person is stood, it's a realistic shot from where a person is stood. And so we can set the height of the camera.
Yeah,
well,
here.
in the
Yeah,
top right corner.
yeah,
And you
here.
can just go there and you can specify the height of your camera as well. 1.7 would be about typical height of the person. So you can start to change that as well.
Yeah. And you can change the exposure in the effect here manually. Yeah, I prefer manually to change this. What's the highlight? Or the feature on the right hand side. And the effect will change the atmosphere here. Okay, and then I will change the lights here, the sky lights. Background.
So when you set up your scene and you're happy with where that's set up, you can then start to play around the sky and you're on the sky right now.
Yeah.
You can also start to add other weather elements. So for example, we can start to put fog in there, which will start to give it some atmosphere.
Yes, here. The fog.
And if I start to increase the density, what I'll do is I'll start to fade the background ever so slightly.
Yes. Yeah. And for rendering, I prefer the 2-point perspective in the camera here. Yeah. And the next step, we can we can add some rings here and the reciprocation here. It'll be ring for the scene. And we don't need the real ring like the raindrop here. We can just use the puddle here to make the scene more reflection and more realistic. And remember to update your scene if you change this.
Some small trees. No, just there's using some realism. But realism is still like only thing that's the house family home. You show how to like water and also show the coloring of the glass. So you bring me much as nice. It is. I need to buy it, actually. Yeah. Down to it. It was yeah. That's a nice. Lawrence, I'm sure everyone will have the saturation of the black because every she also wants to know how to cheerlead their glass. Because you have to read. Yeah. Yes, sure.
And press I, select the grass here. Wait a minute. First, you can change the template for the grass, and then you can change like the color here. You change the color like yellow. It will be more like less green now.
Yeah, I know that. That's the version, it's not that good, not that. You know, yeah. See, it's been- When you do it, for that, it's on a slow, it's all clear and I hate it. Okay. It's in the universe. Opposition to see. You know, full question.
part that you have all that. And then you go and you go right above there. Yeah, are you okay? No, obviously. So you don't want, like, you get into from that spiral, but, and the only time to really like, a lot of the channels, that's one thing. Yeah. I know, and that's like sometimes it's like, so you need to do a few bars, so now you have to.
And the next step, we can put some outdoor furniture like this. Put some chairs, dining set, traffic lights. If you want to make more detail in your scene, like this.
What it means also is starting to add assets, like what you're doing now.
Yeah, put more details in your
So
scene.
just adding those like those sort of things like ring lights, venue, that will start to really for that.
Yeah,
I think it's I think it's good at all. I think I would change that. You just do the contrast very like you look too thick. You maybe choose something. If you straight right, what the rule I follow is that I just straight my eyes and it's like whatever is dominating the scene. Yeah. It doesn't balance, it doesn't like feel coherent. So I would change that more than online. Maybe to something lighter, like this. Yeah, it's nice look better. I think that looks better than it.
Yeah.
Start to play around with the scale of all. And then when you start to access in the head, it will like street lights, connections over here, lights over that side. And now, look, you feel around. Now it's lowering you into the middle of the bar.
yeah.
They put street lights on there as well. But does anyone know what entropy means? I want you to Google it. What does entropy mean? Are you all native English? Are you native English? So most of the people don't need more entropy. But Google it anyway. What does entropy mean? Say that again. And what's one of its other meanings? So there's thermodynamics, which it still talks about something in there to do with chaos. But what's number one? Number two. What's number two? The lack of order or predictability. So in rendering, when we talk about entropy, we're talking about the lack of order or predictability. Now, what we mean by that is, I want you to look at the computers in this room. Okay? And look at the ones over here, look at the ones here. Are they all perfectly situated in a perfect angle? So imagine if I was doing a rendering of this room and I was putting all my computers on there, and I just copied and pasted the same computer every time. It would start to look unrealistic. Why would it look unrealistic? That's the question. Why would it look unrealistic? Too tiny, right? So entropy starts to bring chaos into our scene and brings a lack of order. And then the things that we see in reality. So I'll give you some examples of some things that we could introduce to our scene that would sort of indicate a lack of order. Chairs pulled back, yeah, that would be a good one. And in different orientations and directions. Any other things that we could put into our scene that would give entropy? Objects lying around, like what? Give me some examples. Bags, trash, water bottles, leaves, maybe. So it started to just populate the scene. That if you were to look outside here into the courtyard, what are the things that you see that don't belong and that we wouldn't necessarily consider to put into a rendering scene? And they're the things that we now need to start adding in. So things like, decals, scattering, imperfections, and Lawrence is going to show us how to do that.
Yeah. You can find all this in the assets, like this cover here. It's too dark. I can make one or two. So it's frozen.
So if you go to decal, we can start to put like road markers on. We can start to like paint. We can start to put like wear and tear on the road, on the asphalt. We can put like manhole covers. And we can start to just populate our scene with these different assets. Let's start to put like manhole covers on there. If you want to put the zebra crossing, perfect. That'd be great. And now we can rotate it around and the others.
That's red crossing sign.
Yeah. Yeah, so like road the zebra crossing. Yeah. You start to rotate that around now.
Yeah, 90.
90. Yeah.
And some leaves. Leaves. Yeah, leaves.
Yeah, leaves. So we can start to put like leaves on the scene. Over here. And things are like scattered around. And this is where we start to put like randomness in the scene. But these are the subtle things that you can do with your 3D visualization that are going to make them look more realistic. So we call that entropy. So whenever you hear that word, you say, I remember learning that when I was in university. My amazing tutor told me about it. And you'll know that more like what it means, how to use it, maybe evaluate it if it's it. It's definitely massive. I think the musical is I just really do. What music is just brilliant and it's a really put this in that. So think of personal approaches, maybe like approaches or something. But I see like foliage, like that's something just like an idea. Just to soften more and see more of that. The liberal trees. You can try control them, that's escape. Now you can tell them. Yeah, you can do it in the brush, yeah. 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 Every day is one. Yeah. Television. You have the water? No, you look like one. Didn't it? It's the, no, it's it. I don't have, I was trying to water on. Well, I have to work. Yeah, they just scatter them back again, and back it up. But do you see how this is now starting to, we're starting to build up this scene with all of the assets that we've been given?
I think it's almost time to render it on.
Yeah. What Lawrence is going to show us how to do now is set up the camera correctly so that we can start to get more realistic and accurate, like architectural photography cameras. What do you think would make? What do you think makes the biggest difference, or to make something look more realistic? So what could we use this? Like, what is it about this scene now that maybe makes it not look realistic? And then what could we maybe do to fix it? Say that again. The movement, okay? So maybe the way that people are scattered, maybe the fact that this is like empty, or you know. What about the camera? The camera and the focal length. Is that it looks a bit weak, so we can start to play around with that and change the focal length of the camera. What is it right now?
20.
What's the focal length? 82. No, 21.
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone know what an optimum outdoor focal length would be for architectural photography? How would you find the answer to that? Google. Go ahead. 35, is it? Yeah, field of view. If you Google what a good one would be, or you can put it into AI, ChatGPT, or you can ask what would a really realistic architectural photograph focal length be, and we can start to use the settings of realistic cameras. And if we start to use the realistic camera settings, we're going to start to get more realistic. So you see how this looks immediately more realistic? Because he's in.
Yeah, that's 35. Yeah.
This is 35. This is 35, right? Yeah. You know this stuff. So 35, yeah, came out much better. But there's also another thing. So Lawrence, if you just make it so that the field of view is skewed, and so it's not straight. So if you go
Yeah.
camera,
Here, that's better.
yeah, this one. Right. So I want to look at this camera for a second. Does anyone know what's wrong with this camera right now? Can anyone tell or even see? So why is it doing that? So the 2-point perspective, yeah. So right now we have 2-point perspective. So we have perspective, but we need 2-point perspective so that all of our verticals are straight. And that's something that we often do in post-production sometimes in Photoshop. We might have to then straighten it up. But here in D5, we can just immediately do that by changing our camera type and changing the view type to then a 2-point perspective, so that all of our vertical lines are straight, which is more close to reality and how a camera would take a picture.
Yeah.
I think that like 35, like what would that be?
For interior, again, just look at the different camera lengths, but I think depending on what type of shot that you're doing, whether it's whether you're trying to get a whole room or like more of a portrait view, it will depend on the different camera lengths. But again, a quick Google search will give you what the best camera, would be.
Yes.
Say between 16 and 24 for interior. So for external, like 30 to 35, interiors 16 to 24 typically would give us a decent camera.
Okay. So I will show you how to render in the photo and use the AI image editor. Like here, if you are going to like really the final work, I recommend just select all the channels here because it will make you very easier to edit in the PS. Yeah, to select the same material and stuff. But today I just gonna show you how to use AI channel. So I just choose the AI channel, and to be quick, I just choose 2K. Yeah. On the right top here, play this, and you are going to the render interface. And for example, 2K here. Yeah, if you're working on your final work, I would prefer 6K or 4K or better.
Influence it whatever you want, like, so whenever you go to that, go to Canada, choose.
Did you log in? Sure.
So they actually choose it.
It needs to log in.
What is it like? Yeah, it's the perfect. It's the. Does that meet your standards? Yeah. Told you should have joined us. That's what I said. Yeah. Wish you would. I'm very the whole version like, if we don't do it's not location drama. Oh, is it? Very cinematic. When we just know from compatibility, the comment. This is very much.
And device is especially realistic in raining season.
Yeah, I think again because and it's because rain
Yeah.
creates
Atmosphere.
realism and atmosphere
Yeah.
and drama, whereas I think gone are the days where we look at every single rendering scene, it's like blue sky, perfect weather, everything looks like all colourful, happy, perfect. You know, if you look at a lot of the top architecture visualization companies now, they go more towards realism like this. And that's because it creates a little bit more atmosphere and it sells more of realism than this sort of utopian idea of what something looks like. How many of you have seen a rendering that looks nothing like what the building looks like when it's finished? They're all like that, right? And it's because renderings typically are to sell a marketing vision and it's to sell this idea of idealism. And whereas a lot of, if you look at some of the top architecture visualization companies like MIR, you've never seen MIR, but I know, a Norwegian company. So MIR is one of the best that does this. Their realism, because they do it like this, is like second to none. Like you won't see anything like what they do. You will not even be able to distinguish it from reality. Most of their work. You can't differentiate it because it's so well done. So that's an example. So if you start to study those types of visualization, if you start to understand why and what it is, then it makes them look so realistic. And it's often entropy, so chaos, the amount of chaos that exists, which that we see in reality, much more. And atmosphere getting more realistic to reality as well. So just going to render this now and then we'll do some post-production on it.
Yeah.
If you go on MIR's website, for instance, MIR,
MIR, yeah.
dot and all. These are visualizations. But look at it. It's hard to like distinguish from reality.
Yeah.
But they will not use something like what I'm using. So in order to get that high fidelity of realism, you would need to use a rendering engine that is much stronger, reflecting the physics of reality than real-time renders like Motion and D5, etc. These are real-time renders, and these ones will use something that's a little bit more advanced and uses more computing power to be able to produce this. So they'll use something like Corona or V-Ray, just this type of rendering. But for very fast rendering that we want to produce, we can still achieve a decent level of realism with D5 and with Twinmotion that is enough to sell our vision and to give our idea of what it is that we want to create. So, yeah. It's just rendering now.
Yeah, it's rendering out.
Oh, no. No news from Portugal, we're trying to do that.
And I remember Big is using D5 for rendering as well.
Yeah. Is it period? No, it's not doing it. Click down in line, years ago. There are never any more left. I did everything that there's a. Like, give us. We have one. Everything is in there. No, I'll tell you that. No, this thing I've done a lot of time. Work off the time. That one is AI.
Yeah, that's the AI one. You know why it's not working? It's not working. It's just
Enjoying this doing 5 calls. You're doing what? Why do you not join this building 5 calls? Let's see who's work. Who would help you if you don't need it? It's not. It's really good. That's that. Well, I would recommend it's over there. And then we'll go get that one. Maybe put more precipitation on you out. On your thing. On your thumb.
Yeah, I just did not.
Probably really well.
It's about let us see. Yeah, where you got a account, you can click here, and when I remember, get D5 for education here. Yeah, I'll show.
Because the visualization is always used, but it's not allowed to use the visual long-term film.
I'll show you. In this interface, you have a account here. Click your own account and got D5 for education. I just
Finish the point. And then you do that. Not how you look at it, you can take it. But I'm sure we can read. You see here, that in fact, like, you can. Now use to not the video, maybe you can have the item in five and work. It would be AI, where I'm not.
checking. Yeah, AI processing here. And we can use the AI editor here. The AI style transfer. Here, click this button and realistic. And like upload a reference. I have upload a reference here.
The same.
Maybe this one. For example, just for example. I don't know if it is working. And Yeah, choose the style and waiting.
Oh, yeah. I'm really okay, yeah. So it's on the device, so you need to. Yeah, I thought. Yeah. You might see this. Because the line between the computer. You understand? You need to make sure that you're on the. Let's see. I've already running right. Like on the same cell. No, I was saying this not in well. Because you can line my officer. Is you really actually things? I on that. Yeah. Right, so look at imagine 1 minute.
Yeah.
I better get this on a. Oh.
Yeah, with this AI tool, it will be more realistic, and you can change the select the change the number like.
You see what difference the whole production make.
Yeah. And the good thing is it's very precise for your models. And also you can import in the cars here.
How many use this for? What for the use? Oh, you can download.
Like download here.
No, how to use it?
Oh, how to use.
You see. That's right.
Here and this AI style transfer. Also in painting here.
Show us the before and after again.
Okay. But this is the after, and this is the before.
Before,
Yeah.
and this is the after.
Yeah, if we add this in the Photoshop, it will be more realistic. Yeah. Now it's getting too blue, I think.
I think that is from the style transfer.
Yeah.
Because that was quite a blue image.
Yeah.
It was quite a good job at sort of copying the style transfer.
Yes. And we can also in painting something like.
So let's say we want to make the car, for example, out of the logo of it. It looks like it's moving. We can also then start to do some post-production on that.
Yes.
And we can start to add and choose certain elements that we can add motion blur to.
Yeah, motion blur. The car. Yeah.
And then increase the weight. That's happening. Yeah, you see how we're starting to add some motion blur to the car now. So we can isolate certain parts I think it starts like motion blur.
Yeah, it'll be more interesting.
Now it's going to start to look more realistic.
Yeah. Also, you can choose character as well. The people, not only the cars.
Yes. And boot camp. You know, artificial, so when you go up, you can either read from the road or read from. Is that understood?
Yeah.
Actually, it's sometimes different. Looks like it's all slow.
Yeah. And then was me, I was like, challenging.
That way you go shop. You would go to the building or like. It's really.
It still worked out.
What? You know, there's more efficient way to do things and less efficient way to. Last couple of years with the render was amazing. I think, it's 15K, it was 4 minutes, it'll be more realistic. So what does everyone think? You happy? Yeah? You see how you can use this in your own workflow? That's the most important thing. I think if you can leave here going, I really can see how I can do this, then that's a success, you know. But I think it looks amazing, like the rendering is amazing. Right. So all in what, an hour and a half? 2 hours, you can get this level of detail. So you're finished? Yeah. So we just encourage you now to just have a play around, go away, have a play around with E5. Create a student license. If you create a student license, it might take you a couple of days for you to approve your student license. But remember this one fundamental detail. It locks it to whatever device you set up on. Okay? So if you want it locked to your laptop, for example, make sure you set up on that laptop because it locks it to that device and you cannot use it on any other device in your account. Okay? So just be aware of that when you're creating an account. Big thank you to Lawrence for preparing today.
You're welcome.
Lawrence is one of our GTAs. He's actually done an exceptional job. I think it's amazing what he's done today. English is not his first language, he's super nervous, but I think he did an incredible job. And so let's give him a round of applause. Thanks, Lawrence.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you everybody for attending. Hope that's helpful. And if you want any help or assistance, you know, go sign up for a tutorial as well when you get the meeting. Okay. Thank you. We'll stick around for a little bit if you have any immediate questions.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks a lot.
It's great. It looks amazing.
That's the program.